Hello, my name is Kamal Gabry. I'm delighted to share with you some teachings. I'm sharing with you concepts and techniques to achieve healing for yourself and for the entire planet. Let us tune in to the truth. And the truth must be very simple, must be very accessible and available immediately to you. Your truth, you attain it as soon as you tune in to your breathing. As soon as you tune into your breathing, you connect to life force within you. You connect to the divine, the creative power of all the universes. So what happens when we tune our attention to our breathing? We simply bypass the ego. We bypass the mind-ego complex. The mind-ego complex is here to protect us. There is nothing wrong about it, but it goes into self-driving mode most of the time. It generates thoughts and ideas, and we attach to the thoughts and the ideas until they become our identity. And when this happens, when thoughts and ideas become your identity, they block you from accessing the life force, from accessing the Creator, from accessing love. Because love is the Creator. Love is when you feel it, when you tune into it, you feel your entire body in peace and harmony, and all of your relationships are in peace and harmony, and you wish everybody very well all the time when you are in love. So in my realization, the divine, which is one, which is love, which is the creative force within you, is running all the time as a background for you to access. And it is yearning for you to access it. And I am sure that you have been accessing it. Every time you're in love, every time you are in gratitude, every time you are yourself. The truth is, we are all cells in one body. This body that we are cells of is the humanity. And humanity is how the divine manifests itself on this beautiful planet Earth. So you and I and everyone else are playing roles in this humanity manifestation. As soon as you go to prayers, or you meditate, or you do good yoga, you align your body with the divine, you bypass thoughts, ideas and opinions, and you connect to life force. So let us do it right now. What you're feeling now in your body as you take a deep breath is peace and harmony. And this peace and harmony you're feeling is bringing more oxygen to your tissues, is activating the parasympathetic nervous system within you, and deactivating the sympathetic nervous system within you. And the parasympathetic system is like the constructive power, the creative power. And the sympathetic system, which is stress and fear, fight or flight, that system is supposed to work during stress. It's supposed to work during threatening situations. But now, most of us in this world, when we tune into the media and the news and everything else, we are in fear and bombarded by fear, opinions, all the time, judging, taking one side versus the other. And this is how you get hijacked from your true nature, from the divine. This is how you get hijacked from attaining your self-realization, which is to express what you're supposed to express on this planet during this lifetime. When you meditate like this, or when you take a deep breath and go through the thoughts and opinions, allow them to subside, you start to observe them and you go beyond them, and you feel a state of heavenly presence, a state of peace and harmony. In that state of peace and harmony, you feel that what you access now is your soul, your higher self. And what you have accessed, which is your soul or your higher self, is actually one with all. So as soon as you access the divine zone within you, your higher self, nobody's giving it to you, it's who you are. You can actually observe your thoughts, you can observe your mind and your body. And the first step is that you realize that your higher self and my higher self are one. There are not many. Whereas in this world of form, you look at yourself and myself as different or separate, or even sometimes antagonists. So there are two frequencies we can operate. The higher frequency, which is your higher self, which is love, oneness with all, and the lower frequency, which is separation or fear and wanting to take sides or fight for some side versus another. The entire system is divine, and it is meant to be this way, but you have a choice. Your choice is what role I want to play. Do I want to play in the lowest possible frequency, like gangs, for example? Do I want to play? There are frequencies like gangs, tribal, political parties, all the traditions, or nationality, and you keep going until you attain levels of humanity, peace, gratitude to all, love to all, compassion with all. These are all frequencies that you have a choice, you can choose from. So when you choose the higher frequency, what happens is that you attain the properties of that frequency. And when you choose a lower frequency, you take on the properties of the lower frequency. Let us say it's a play, and you want to play superhero. Automatically your body and your mind take on the properties of a superhero. If you play like the role of a gang member, your body and mind take on the properties of a gang member. So, in other words, when you operate out of the frequency of love, you attain divine properties. Again, when you operate in the frequency of love, you attain divine properties. What does this mean? Your body functions beautifully. Your mind functions beautifully. Everyone loves you, and you love everyone. And when you take on the frequency of fear or separation, your mind and body take on these kinds of frequencies as well. So, if you take me as an enemy, I will feel it. If you take your neighbor country as an enemy, it will feel it. People in that country will feel it. If you take anyone as enemy, if you take your spouse as enemy, she's gonna feel it immediately. If you're judgmental towards your child, he's gonna feel it immediately. If you're judgmental towards your neighbor, she's gonna feel it immediately. If you love her, she's gonna feel it immediately. So it's a choice. You always have this kind of choice. Choose love, which is a higher frequency, choose to operate out of your soul, or choose frequency of separation and fear, and put all kinds of security cameras around you and buy all kinds of insurances and bleed yourself to death just giving away everything in order to protect what doesn't need to be protected, because by nature life is safe and life is beautiful. So, I once said, love does not choose his prophets. Love does not choose his prophets. Prophets choose love. Others choose religion. So, the divine is not here to select someone over another. It's up to you to play the role of the divine, or up to you to put yourself in misery and suffering. I know it is not always as easy as it sounds, but having the awareness to check in and assess every situation. You always have one choice: to operate out of your higher frequency, which is peace and harmony, which is love, or to operate out of a lower frequency, which is fear and separation. And I love Wayne Dyer when he once said, you always have one choice: to be a host of God or hostage to your ego. So I do understand there is much mental illness out there, and we all have suffered from it, including myself. And there is much physical illness out there, and we all have felt it or encountered it, or we still have it, including myself. But what I am noticing as a physician and as a scientist, that my ability to operate out of a higher frequency, every time I have a situation, I go check. What is my response like? Is it love, out of love, or out of fear? Am I displaying love to all, to humanity at large? Or am I expressing just one local limited love, just to my child or to my spouse? Sometimes I go with lower frequencies, but most of the time I choose higher frequency. And I know many of the beautiful people out there do that, and do it naturally. I think your mother may be doing it all the time. Your neighbor may be doing it all the time. There are people who keep creating heaven on earth all the time on this planet. And they're doing a lot more than myself. And I bow in gratitude to them, even if I don't know them personally. So, There are several techniques to help you stay attuned to the divine, attuned to health, attuned to life force. The first technique I've already shared with you, which is meditation. And what is meditation? I'm not asking you to go pay for courses and classes, and no, it's as simple as breathing. When you breathe, you tune into your body. You follow your breath. Follow everything you can follow. Observe everything you can observe, including the temperature, including the humidity, including, if it has any smell or if it's pure. Follow all the criteria you can follow about your breath. And follow it through your body. And see what it does to your body. And when you breathe peacefully and deeply, see what it does to your body. And when you breathe out, breathe slowly. These subtle feelings you have in your body are life force. It's oneness, it's love. And you can amplify them, they can go bigger and bigger, and they can be very, very subtle. But anyhow, it's subtle, and it's always there. It is just your ability to attune to it and observe it. When you observe life force, you cannot observe your body, particularly your internal organs and your skin. You cannot observe your body and your mind at the same time. You cannot observe your body and have too many thoughts at the same time. This automatically, by observing your breathing, automatically your thoughts tune down and start to subside. And you have an opening that you can go through to what is beyond thoughts. And Rumi says, out beyond ideas of right doing and wrong doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I meet you there. This is exactly the field I'm talking about. The field beyond thoughts. The field beyond ideas. Imagine when you're sitting next to your spouse or next to your friend and having no thoughts, no ideas, no judgment, no assessment. You're just there for them, to connect with them and feel their energy as much as you feel your own. What is going to happen? So much amplification of the divine frequency, so much healing for yourself and her. And this is the principle of Reiki, for example. So let us now talk about techniques. Meditation is one technique. Reiki, which I just shared with you, is another technique. Going beyond ideas, beyond thoughts, beyond anything, and just put your hand or even move your hand closer without touching. You can touch the person or not touch them. But I recommend touching. I love touching. Or when you hug someone. And I think this is the technique Jesus Christ was using. He was doing Reiki. So, in essence, just lay your hand or just keep your hands a little off, someone, and tune in. We're doing it right now. You can even do it online. And what you're feeling right now is this divine energy. This is one technique. Your thoughts can do it too. By following someone or an incident and sending them love and healing, compassion and gratitude, they feel it. When someone is having a surgery and their friends are gathered right out, just sending them love, it goes right into the tissues and cells and enables their healing. Because the life force, the creator, is always there, waiting for beautiful, amazing people to tap into it. And that life force welcomes you, it's yearning for you, it wants you. As a matter of fact, you are the hands and feet of life force on this planet. So the divine wants you more than you want him or you want her. And it's always available all the time. So we talked about meditation, talked about reiki, sex. You know, when you are with your partner and you connect with your partner to serve and please and worship their body, not their mind, their body, you know, and pray for all the amazing life force to be exchanged between the two of you, and to take your partner as a surrogate to the divine feminine or the divine masculine that you want to serve and worship. How does this affect your relationship with your own partner, with your own self, with the world? So intimacy is a major way to attain enlightenment and attain healing. Prayers. When you go into prayers and just stand, you know, and worship the divine and be in full gratitude to every breath you take, to how you look, to how you feel, to every single moment you get on this planet. This full gratitude to what you eat and what you drink. So prayers, gratitude, is another technique, and it doesn't cost you a penny. Yoga. Align your body. Take whatever posture that makes you open up and connect up to the divine, and connect to your heart, connect to this beautiful planet Earth, connect to colleagues around you, connect to the planet and life force everywhere. Yoga. It shouldn't cost you anything. And doing any of these activities in group is extremely powerful. It's like when you add a light bulb next to a light bulb. If this light bulb is 10 watt and the other light bulb is 10 watt, what you get together is not 20, you get 100. And if you're 3, it becomes 1,000. If you're 4, it becomes like, you know, 1,000,000, and it's like that. So sharing the techniques with others amplifies it enormously. It heals you. When you go and sit in a group, holding hands and sharing your truth, just being who you are, and wishing everybody well. Not trying to be politically correct, not worrying too much about your appearance and your makeup, and just enjoying, loving these individuals around you. And you go home, if you have this circle once a week, once a month, whatever, you go home and share, you kind of charge your batteries. Share this beautiful energy, you charge your battery for a week. And all of this beautiful energy goes to your kids and your family and your pets and your home and your friends at work, everybody. But mostly, it heals your own body. Because now, and I'm a physician, I'm a scientist, what we haven't talked about much is the power of peace and harmony to your body cells and tissues. So, when you are in peace and harmony, your tissues are a lot more capable of healing. When you are in peace and harmony, your tissues want to heal you. They take care of what needs to be taken care of. As opposed to when you are in so much fear about all the toxins and all the poisons and all the terrible things in the world, you know, your tissues become like clinch. You know, you cannot achieve peace and harmony, you cannot achieve healing when you are in fear. You need to be in love. And you reflect the world, or you are a reflection of the world. So as much as peace and harmony and love to yourself, appreciation to everything and every element of your personality, everything, this manifests in the world. So when you love all of you, the world loves all of itself. So as far as techniques go, the simplest is your breathing. You can call it meditation, you can call it prayers, you can do it in Qigong, you can do it in yoga, you can do it in sex. But the framework you operate from is your higher frequency, love, your higher self, that the more you love, the more you heal. And this healing is not just to yourself, it's to everybody else. And you can amplify it and you can share it over and over and over. When you are in fear, you are like in self-driving mode, disconnected, not having a GPS, not having an internet connection. Or you are dependent on your local device storage. If it's like a smartphone, you're totally dependent on the local device storage. So whatever programs you have in you, that's it. Whereas when you connect to life force, it's like you connect to the internet and you have a GPS. And what I mean here by the internet and the GPS is the divine in this analogy. So you have knowing to everything that needs to be known. Nobody can mislead you. When you are connected to the internet and somebody tries to mislead you, you can simply, Google it. So if I'm giving you a statement that doesn't quite fit, I'm not talking just about me. If anybody, whether you're president, you're politician, myself, anybody trying to sell you any product, even though I'm not selling you anything, you can simply Google it. And what I mean by Googling it here, just self-check. Send it to that awareness frequency that you have within you, life force, and see, does it feel good? Or does it feel a little weird? Am I enjoying it? Do I want more of this? Or am I just paying money? Or am I being bled to take sides here and there? So always assess. And every statement you get from anyone, put it on that scale. And I'm saying anyone, including the Holy Scriptures. Put it on that scale. Is it love to all, gratitude to all, compassion with all? Or is it love to just a particular group, or particular society, or particular individual? And you ask yourself, where is the divine speech? And take what suits you, what you think is a higher frequency. And if you choose a lower frequency, that's still okay. Perhaps you want to play this role for a little while, or for a few lifetimes, or forever. It's still okay. So be aware of what you already have within you. The background frequency, the internet connection. And I want to share with you a little more about that. That background frequency, it's like you swim in an ocean. It's like if you are a fish and you swim in an ocean and you keep your head out of the water, you're gonna feel the waves splashing you here and there all the time, going up and down, going up and down. And that is like the activities of the mind. So you feel bombarded by situations, by waves of life, because you keep your head out of the water. You are a fish, you're supposed to be in the water. And the water is the divine frequency. So when you keep your head in the water, in the divine frequency, you're still gonna feel the waves, but they're not gonna hurt you. So if we keep our heads in the divine frequency, instead of getting hit and slammed by the waves, we can observe them without necessarily getting hit by them. And the divine frequency here is your breath. So stay with your breath, stay with your breathing. Every time I take a moment of silence, I go to breathing. Every time I'm standing in line, I go to breathing. I can be having a conversation with you and still tuning in the background frequency. So, I have shared with you the concepts. Just stay with the essence and keep it short and sweet. The concepts. The divine frequency is oneness. We are all one. And you can choose. We are all cells in the same body. And we get recycled. We have like a lifetime of 50 years, 100 years or whatever. And we get recycled and we come back. We get recycled and come back. And every time you have a choice. And actually in every situation you have a choice. Whether I want to operate as one cell in this beautiful harmonious body, which is humanity and the divinity, or when I want to be separate and collect as much power and resources and and exploit others. It's up to you. And whatever you choose, is going to manifest in your body. The techniques include breathing, meditation, yoga, intimacy, reiki, and all of them wouldn't help you unless you tune in, or you have the concept, you have the structure, that you can be close to the divine, which is oneness, which is love, or away from the divine. And when you have this ability to self-check with every situation, it's going to pay you a lot. Being in this mode not only heals you, it heals the entire planet through you. And it is joyful, it's blessed, it doesn't cost you a penny, and it brings you the love you put out there, always comes back, amplified. And it's even more powerful and more beautiful when it is in groups. This is how we stay in harmony, and I'll be happy to share with you about each of these concepts and each of these techniques, and to go more in depth as we go along. I plan to be with you here every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern or New York Standard Time. and I hope to see you on a regular basis. I'll do my best to answer your questions and to talk about specifics, but we will always go back to the essence of these concepts, the essence of healing, and we will apply them in individual situations, in group situations, in humanity situations, just as illustration, until it becomes your habit. And when it becomes your habit, you will go on your own, and in your own beautiful style, you'll share it with the world, and you'll become a light bulb wherever you go. You'll be a mobile heaven everywhere you go. And this is why it works for all. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you next week. Love you.